Welcome back. Chapter 2, Section B, Different Methods to Gather Market Research Data. In this section, we will explore the various methods businesses use to gather market research data. As we know from Section A, market research is very important for understanding consumer behavior, identifying market trends, and making informed business decisions, and also effective resource allocations. But there are multiple ways to collect the market research data. We want to discuss it together in Section B of these chapters about each of these market research methods to how to collect data, and each methods have its own advantage and applications depending on the type of information needed and the goals of the research. These methods are broadly categorized into primary and secondary research, and we will start these sections with primary research. Various approaches to collect market research data. When it comes to collecting market research data, businesses have several approaches and they can use. With primary research, also known as a field research, we arrive to the first method of gathering market research data. So, primary research or field research, it is very important to know the alternative names. Primary research or field research involve collecting primary data or original data or new data that is not exist before. This type of research involves gathering original data that did not previously exist. It is very important, please pay attention. So, primary research involves gathering original data that did not previously exist or not exist before. In other words, the researcher must actively collect this information. The researcher must actively collect the information. The researcher role in collecting the information, or better, collecting the data, is active. This research can be conducted either by business itself or by a specialized market research firm. So, again, this research, primary research, can be conducted either by businesses itself, we have two different alternatives in the primary research, or by a specialized market research firm. Due to the significant expenses associated with hiring a market research agency, many small businesses opt to carry out their own market research. Continue with primary research. In primary research, data is obtained through questioning consumers or observing their behaviors. So we can collect and obtaining data by questioning consumers or observing their behaviors. The most precise method would involve asking or monitoring every consumer of specific products and refer to the populations. However, in nearly all cases, this approach would be either impractical or costly. So also this is precise to asking and monitoring every consumers. So this is precise to asking and monitoring every customers. But this is expensive, impractical, or costly to monitor and asking every consumer. Instead, we can common practice to conduct a survey of sample group because this is precise but impractical or costly. Our solution is to use sample group that is considered representative of overall market. Sample group are representative of the overall market. There are different methods for primary research. First, questionnaires or surveys. Second, focus group or consumer panel. Third, face-to-face telephone interviews. And 4, product trials or test marketing. The number 4 is product trials or test marketing. Let's see together what is the explanation of each primary research method. Let's start with questionnaires. Understanding questionnaire in market research. A questionnaire consists of series of written questions. These are widely utilized in market research to capture the perspectives and opinions of respondents. So in the simple words, questionnaire consists of a series of written questions. A series of written questions. And also is need to capture the perspective and opinions of respondents. Questionnaire is very important tool in market research and enabling business to systematically collect and analyze consumer opinion and feedbacks, and their structure format makes them effective for capturing a wide range of data which can then be used, guide strategic decision and improve product services. So after definitions of understanding the definition of questionnaire, we want to know what a well-designed questionnaire typically have to be includes. In fact, a well-designed questionnaire typically includes a balance of mix from open and closed questions. So a well-designed questionnaire will include a mix of open and closed questions. Balanced mix of open and closed questions. So what is a closed question? Closed questions provide respondents with a limited set of answers. For example, a question like how many times have you flown with Emirates Airlines this year? This is closed question. And illustrate these types very carefully about the questionnaires. So closed question again provide respondent with a limited set of answers. So set of answers in the closed question is very limited and standard. And the responses to closed question are simpler to analyze and can be represented numerically. It is important for us, very important for exam, to understand the advantage and disadvantage of different methods in business. And the advantage, important advantage of closed question in the questionnaires for market research is that the closed questions are simpler to analyze and can be represented numerically. In contrast, open question allow respondents to express their thoughts freely without being restricted. So they be able to express their thoughts freely without being restricted or limitations to predefined list of answers. Open questions are particularly useful when, what is the advantage of open question? It is useful when there are numerous possible responses. An example of this in the same context is that what suggestion do you have for enhancing the quality of cabin service offered by Emirates? This is the open question because there is no special limitation to answer of this question. So again, the good questionnaires include a suitable balance of mix between open and closed question. The important advantage of closed question is that they are simpler to analyze and they are numerical. And in contrast, we have open question. In the open question, the respondent can express their thoughts freely. And the important advantage of open question is that there are numerous possible responses and the customers can express themselves without any limitation. In continue with essential features for effective questionnaires, we need to continue with clarity and simplicity. So questions need to be straightforward and free from jargon, and they should use proper grammar and sampling. These are from clarity and simplicity. The next feature of effective questionnaire is to avoid leading questions. But what is the leading questions? Leading questions imply a particular answer and should be avoided as they can compromise the reliability of the results. And finally, we have conciseness. In the conciseness, the questionnaire should not be overly lengthy. So it should be not overly lengthy. And if it takes too long to complete, respondent may be frustrated or unwilling to invest their time. So clarity and simplicity, avoid leading questions, and conciseness is essential other features of effective questionnaire. Next topic is survey. Survey or mail survey here involve distributing questionnaire to individuals. So questionnaires are distributed to individuals who are requested to fill them. While this method may gather greater convenience, a significant number of questionnaires go to unreturned. So the important disadvantage of survey is that perhaps the significant number of questionnaires often go unreturned. As a result, the valuable resources can be wasted. So there are high possibility of the waste in the survey method because probably a significant number of the questionnaires often go unturned. So mail surveys provide a convenient way for respondents to participate in their own pace, but they often suffer from low response rate, and which can lead to waste resources and less reliable data. But we have the other alternative in the survey concept, online survey. And online surveys have become an increasingly popular tool for businesses to collect customer feedback and offering several advantages over traditional methods. So an increasing number of the companies are utilize online surveys to collect feedback from customers because of its lower cost. So the most important advantage of online survey is its lower cost, and resources have low waste in this method. Some businesses send links to online surveys to customers after they make a purchase. I know that you have the same experience also in your online purchases. And these surveys enable companies to quickly gather feedback, which can help identify strengths and weaknesses in their service qualities. For example, platforms like Booking.com and Amazon employ these methods. And additionally, in certain countries, there are online services that offer cash incentives to encourage participants to complete the questionnaires. So generally, online surveys is saving cost and saving time, and we can use incentives to encourage participants to complete the questions in the questionnaire. But what is the main differences between survey and questionnaires? In fact, understanding the distinction between the survey and questionnaire is important when discussing the market research methods. The difference between a survey and questionnaire is that the questionnaire includes any written set of questions. Questionnaire includes any written set of questions, while the survey is both set of question and process of collecting also. So survey is more comprehensive approach. It includes both sets of questions and process of collecting, aggregating, and analyzing the responses from these questions. So surveys is very more comprehensive. It includes sets of questions, the process of collecting, aggregating, and analyzing the responses from the questions from the questionnaires. And this is the main difference between questionnaire and surveys that lies on their scope. The questionnaire is simply the set of written questions, while the survey is comprehensive process that includes the questionnaire, data collections, and analysis. So the main difference between questionnaire and survey is that their scope, and the scope of survey is more comprehensive in compared with questionnaire. So after the most important methods, questionnaire, we arrive to focus group and consumer panels. Please be careful, again, please be careful about the alternative method names. You need to know both the names for each alternative, focus group and consumer panel. So when businesses need to detail insight into customer opinion, attitudes, or behaviors, they often turn to focus group or consumer panel. So when businesses require to in-depth insights from their customers, they need to utilize focus group or consumer panels. And what is the focus group? The focus group involves inviting a number of customers to participate in the discussions facilitated by market researchers. So again, this is the definition of focus group. In the definitions, it is very important to explain the terminology in two precise sentences. Again, explain the terminology in two precise sentences for 2-mark question in the exam. For this part, a focus group involves, first, inviting a number of customers to participate in the discussions. The second part, facilitated by market researchers. While this method is relatively cost-effective, this is important advantage of focus group. The sample size may be limited. So whenever our sample size is limited, the result clarity and reliability is decreased. And this approach enables businesses to observe how consumers respond to product change. So what are the most important advantage of focus group or consumer panel? First, this is cost effective. Second, it's enable businesses to observe how consumers respond to product change. What is the disadvantage? The sample size may be limited. The sample size may be limited, and this is the disadvantage of focus group or consumer panel. Next method is in-person and telephone interviews, and businesses in this way may carry out in-person interviews on a street. I think that you have experience in your life. For instance, an interviewer might approach pedestrians and ask them several questions and record their response on clipboards. Again, one advantage of in-person or telephone interview is that the interviewer can clarify questions if respondent is uncertain, potentially leading to more detailed informations. However, many individuals may feel uncomfortable when they are being approached in public. So, because of in-person interview in the streets have a disadvantage, and disadvantage is that the customers and individual may feel uncomfortable being approached in public. There is an alternative method in conducting interview with telephone, which is often more cost effective also. And this approach also allows for reaching individual across the broader geographical area. Nevertheless, some people may be reluctant to receive calls from business, particularly if they haven't scheduled an appointment. So this is the disadvantage of telephone interview. So in-person interview, the interviewer can clarify questions. These are advantage. We are happy with that. If responded uncertains, potentially leading to more detailed questions. However, disadvantage of telephone interview, it's individual may feel uncomfortable being approached in public. There is other alternative methods, and it is telephone interview. The telephone interview main advantage that we are happy with that is that this is more cost effective. But what is the disadvantage? Before disadvantage, we have a second advantage for telephone interview, and it is cover across the broader geographical area. So the geographical area for telephone interview is broader. And the final disadvantage for telephone interview is that some people may be reluctant to receive calls. Some people may be reluctant and don't like to receive calls from different businesses is the disadvantage of telephone interview. Okay, in continue we arrive to product trials or test marketing. Many businesses utilize product trial to gather customer feedback, and this process encourages customers to evaluate, use, or test product before its full market launch. This approach allows companies to make last-minute adjustment to the product based on feedback received. In some instances, consumer may be offered monetary incentives to trying out products and sharing their opinions. A related strategy is known as a test marketing, which involves introducing a new products. It's very important. Test marketing is introducing a new products in a limited geographical area to assess performance prior a broader release. After designated periods, and feedback is collected from customers, and this feedback is then used to refine the product before its final launch across the entire markets, and we can reduce the risk of failures by product trial or test marketing. So product trial involves offering consumer the chance to evaluate, use, or test product before it's officially launched in the markets. And the benefit is that it is gathering consumer feedback during these trials. Companies can make last-minute adjustment to the products to better meet customer expectations. And test marketing is a strategy where a new product is introduced in the limited geographical area before a full-scale market share. So limited geographical area is a key part for test marketing. Please remember it carefully for definition of test marketing that take place for limited geographical area. And the benefits of test marketing is that the feedback collected from test marketing helps businesses understand how the product performs in the markets. Product trials and test marketing are effective methods for businesses to test new products and gather valuable consumer feedback before a full market release, and product trials allows consumer to evaluate the provide feedbacks on products directly, often with incentives to assess its performance and make final adjustment based on the real world data. So both strategies help reduce the risk of failure and provide insights that inform product refinement and marketing strategies. Thank you for attention.